Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 18, the Halloween special of the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing weekly gaming podcast from us, the Goodnight Groofs. Today's Halloween episode will be a bit different in content and format. We're going to shuffle some things around, and there won't be a big question today. We're just going to play some more mini-games instead. My name is Matt, and today I'm joined by Paul and Josh. No Mike today, but let's just get right into it, guys. Instead of asking you how you're doing and how you've been doing this week, I want to ask everyone what their peak of the week has been. We'll address the costumes in a minute here.
Just never address them the whole time.
that would have been another way to go about it.
This is your January 8th episode of
So Paul, tell me, what's the best thing that happened to you this week, and what are you wearing right now, sir?
Yeah, so, well, the question. We should start that every week. They should have that question. Anyway, my best part of my week this week was I actually went on a little camping trip. I went on a camping trip with a couple friends of mine from high school, and we were there, and we were in the woods. We heard some strange noises. I went to investigate one of the noises, and when I did, I was bit by a werewolf. Turns out, John, the dude I went to high school with, who I thought was my best friend, has been a werewolf this whole frickin' time. So, as you can see, to answer your second question, I am now afflicted with the lupine curse.
So not actually a costume.
It's not a costume. My bottom jaw was ripped off. It's over here.
It's interesting. There's a strap that goes around the back of your head for. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, it's because my wolf face actually also got cut off in some of the fight, and I had to strap it back on. It's a mess. It was. You might be asking, why is this the peak of my week? And I'll tell you why. It's because I can now lick my own balls, and there's no one there to stop me. I have an excuse. I'm a dog. That's. Yeah.
Very nice. All right, Josh, what was the peak of your week? What was the best thing that happened to you this week, and what are you wearing, sir?
So, really, a real lack of the week, really, you could say, was getting turned into a literal piece of bacon. So, I probably won't last much longer. Probably going to be cooked up, going to be delicious. Send me to the Waffle House. It's going to be a great time.
I don't need you cooked up. I'm getting hungry looking at you. I'm pretty much transfixed on the screen right now as a wolf, as a dog.
Beautiful strands of fat running through here for the audio listeners. I'm rubbing my bacon body.
I'm drooling.
And it really looks appetizing. It's great, as well as my big dumb bald head poking through the center of it. No, actual peak of the week though. Sports. Wow, everyone loves sports. The Atlanta Braves made it to the World Series, and I'm shitting my pants.
Oh yes, congratulations.
So pretty excited about that. Gotta say.
I will say, actually, if we're doing actual peak of the week here, I'll also get in tomorrow. I'm going on a hike to a pretty big provincial park here in Ontario, Algonquin Park. Pretty excited. Going to check that out and see some fall colors and do some hiking. And you know what? We might get lost. I might get bitten. This could be like, knock on wood. I don't want to chance things by being so glib about it. So, it's a serious issue.
We could only be so lucky.
Like lycanthropy. So.
Well, the peak of my week, I'll address the costume first. It's really not a costume. I'm just dressed as the host of the Halloween special. Very official.
You're looking very sharp.
Thank you.
You look much better than us.
Man.
By the way, if you are an audio-only listener, at least go to the YouTube video this week, because you got to see the costumes. You got to see the outfits.
Just skim, because a lot of the jokes in this won't make sense if you don't know what we look like. It's really going to wreck a lot. We're going to be referencing this probably way too much.
The peak of my week is Halloween. It used to be my favorite holiday. It's a close second now. Christmas has probably overtaken it a little bit, but someday when I have a kid and I have an excuse to actually go trick-or-treating again, it's probably going to reclaim its number one spot in my heart and my mind. I loved Halloween growing up. I've loved everything about Halloween decorations. I used to watch the Martha Stewart Halloween specials with my mom. That was like a big thing for us. We enjoyed doing that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Martha Stewart did a Halloween show? Did she just do like crafts and stuff for around the house?
Yeah, it was
just in prison.
Yeah, she would do like Halloween special episodes where it was like Halloween decorations and Halloween foods and all that kind of stuff. And it was a good time. It was a good time. I love Halloween, and I love the.
Do you say Halloween?
Oh, I didn't. But you may have heard that.
I'm so sorry.
He's in heat.
I fucked up.
You're okay. I forgive you. I forgive you. By the way, your friend from high school, the werewolf. Was he on the basketball team by any chance back in the day? Or
his name was Tommy Dawkins. He was they used to call him the big wolf on campus, and I really didn't understand why. So I guess the joke's on me.
All right, let's move on. Trending topics. In trending topics, I give our panelists a choice between 3 search terms. They have to tell me which one they think got the most searches over the last 7 days via stats from Google Trends. We'll play 3 quick rounds here. I will admit the first round has nothing to do with Halloween, unless these names terrify you, in which case... Go ahead. Round 1. Musk, Bezos, or Zuckerberg?
yeah, that's pretty fair reactions.
Bezos, it's got to be
Zuckerberg.
Both are wrong. The answer is Musk.
Wow.
I don't know why it's always.
Oh, wow,
Musk.
that's right. Yeah, I mean, we have Musk. I have Musk after the gym, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, yes,
I'm looking at Musk.
Also, he is the richest person in the world at this moment.
Is
Round
that a
2.
thing that happened this week? Is that why people were talking about?
I don't know. I think maybe he crossed a threshold this week again, like recrossed 200 billion or something like that. I don't know.
Fair.
Round 2. Ninja costume, pirate costume, or nurse costume?
Oh, that's hard. What's popping right now? I'm gonna bank on the little kid's ninja costume.
I'm going nurse costume.
Oh wow.
Both wrong again. It was pirate costume.
Wow, we suck.
We are a lot of pirates out there searching for Elon Musk this week.
I even tried sexy nurse costume, and that actually had fewer searches than nurse. I guess that makes sense, but
you got an extra word, right? Yeah. I mean, but that word you think might
I could have done sexy pirate and sexy ninja, but
oh yeah, it would be interesting to see what. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. Everyone, you can wait. Right.
What is the sexiest of the sexy costumes?
Do you see the Ask Reddit? They have like a whole mega thread just for the sexiest sexy Halloween thread. Just for ask sexy
personally
questions.
a really big fan of a sexy bacon. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
agree.
that is you are wearing that costume, right?
You're gonna get that costume, Josh, because it's right now I just see regular bacon.
Yeah, it's crotchless actually. I'm crotchless bacon.
Oh, well, and that changes things.
Round 3. Trick or treat, horror movies, or Halloween party?
Horror movies.
Halloween party.
0 for 3. It was trick or treat.
We are ass, my dude. We are terrible.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
All right. Let's move on from that. We need to get away from that as quickly as possible. Let's move on to audience questions. Every week we address 2 or 3. Yes, that's right. You're hearing it. Audience questions early in the show this week for you longtime listeners. Every week we address 2 or 3 audience questions, comments, or concerns. We take those questions from our supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs. You can leave your questions in the comments section of the previous episode's post. The $1 tier will get you access to question submissions. We also take submissions from Game Groofs at gmail.com and in the YouTube comments.
Sorry, that just gets me real excited when I hear about that value.
But our patrons will always receive priority. All right. First question comes from Michael.
Oh.
What's the scariest level or map you've played in a game? Josh, we're going to go to you first. What is the scariest level or map you've ever played in a game?
Yeah, so it's going to be a limited selection because I am a big old pussy bitch when it comes to scary games. But I'll have to throw it to my old favorite that actually finally got me into playing horror games, and that was Phasmophobia.
Ooh.
And probably that damn farmhouse in Phasmophobia. The first few times I played it, Jesus Christ, the atmosphere just in general, hell nah, terrifying. Do not want. Honorable mention, the water room in Amnesia. Jesus Christ. That's a brutal one.
Oh,
worst.
yeah. You're talking about the one like where you're sort of in like sewers and they can chase you.
You
And it
find
just
out something starts
splashes.
moving, and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
that is pretty
Yeah,
terrifying.
that's a rough one. That one, it took me a lot to get through. I basically had to get drunk and run through it.
I do most things.
Paul, what about you? What's the scariest level or map you've played?
Yeah, so I had a hard time coming up with a great scary level or map. Just because I feel like I can think of a lot of games that are scary, but like a specific level I can pinpoint. So I just thought of one that I remember being particularly scary and surprisingly scary. So I picked 343 Guilty Spark from original Halo CE.
Ooh.
The first time that you encounter the Flood. That shit scared the hell out of me. I was not expecting facehugger alien flood things to come out. You have to get your flashlight out. You can barely see what's happening. Flood are like getting everyone. If I'm remembering the right level. If not, it's the next one, but called the Flood. But either way, it's one of the whatever you first kind of introduced to the Flood. And that shit is scary as hell. I think it's not what you expect to be the main villain. You're wondering what the Halos are built for, and then you find out, oh, it's these horrible, horrible facehuggers. Which to me, in scary movies and stuff, there's very little scarier than the facehuggers from Aliens. So yeah,
Paul, it's funny. We have the same answer, but I think the level is the library. I think that's where you first see the Flood.
Level I'm thinking of, I think you're right, is the library. I'm just thinking of the first time they mentioned they show the Flood.
The first time they show them, like when you watch like the playback through the old soldier's head, is 343 Guilty Spark.
That's what I think. That's why I think I got confused because I was trying to look it up. But you're right, Matt. It's library.
Yeah, so that's the first time you encounter them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first that first time you encounter them, I was legitimately scared at a video game for the first time when that happened.
And Halo, which is like a kind of a doofy video game.
Yeah. I mean, it really got the adrenaline going. It was just the first time that I remember really feeling like the sense of like stress and urgency in a video game. I had never really felt that before. The only other time I can remember before that I was ever scared in a game was when I was a kid during a specific Spyro level, which is ridiculous, but there was like just creepy looking character. But yeah, the library was the first one where it really got me, and I was like, oh shit, video games can actually be pretty terrifying.
Good answer. I'm glad we had the same answer. You corrected me, but yeah, we definitely have the same answer on that.
The next question comes from Jason. What's your favorite scary movie? And do you think it could work as a video game? Paul, we'll go to you first this time. What's your favorite scary movie? Could it work as a game?
Is this Jason Voorhees?
I believe so. It didn't leave his full last name, but it was V. It was Jason V.
Didn't leave his full last name. I'm imagining saying it to Jason. You're like, hey man, can I get your full last name? Yeah. So my favorite scary movie is obviously Halloween. I love For those in the audio podcast, I pointed to my wolf mask like I was going to say something wolf related. There is the joke on that. John Carpenter's original Halloween is my favorite scary movie. I definitely watched it. I rewatched it again recently. It's definitely got some cheesy elements to it. Most cheese. I watched it with Rachel, and she never seen it before and laughed aloud through a lot of it, just because there's a lot of goofy little tones and things. But I think it's just so incredible, and I love the story, and I love all the actors and things like that. So I think Michael Myers is so scary, and like the way he just kind of like continually slowly walks towards you. I think that easily could work as a video game. I think it's perfect. It's an asymmetrical, PvP horror game. I think it works in just the classic sense where some dude's like chasing you around slowly and you have to keep running away and going into different houses. And then when you go there, oh my God, my friend is dead. They're on a hook. Well, it's like Dead by Daylight, So it's pretty easy. That works, I think.
Okay, well, I'll go now because I, again, have the same answer as Paul.
No way.
Look at these two boys go.
Same answer. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Halloween. It's my all-time favorite horror movie. I try to watch it every year. Here's the thing, though. I differ from you in this sense, Paul. I think it only works as a game if you're playing as Michael Myers. Because realistically, like, the normal people in those movies should never actually be in the situations they find themselves in. They should always be able to get away. I mean, Michael walks so slowly. Yeah, they trip on something or they can't get a door open or whatever. But I think it could actually be fun playing as Michael with purposeful disadvantages in place. It would be challenging, almost like a bunch of puzzle.
So much faster than me. Why can't I run? Like that.
Exactly, like a bunch of puzzle elements. Like you have to be smart about it. You can't just brute force it and chase someone down. Like, I think there's something there.
That's a cool idea, actually. I never thought of that. That's interesting.
Josh, what about you?
I feel like mine's like super lame because I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I mean, okay, I love Scream. Scream is a classic.
There you go.
But I can't say it's my favorite. Okay, so it's a little bit of a cheat because it's not really a scary movie, maybe more of a thriller mystery. I don't know how you'd classify it. Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
Oh, that's a horror movie for sure.
Like, I love that movie to death because it just took the whole concept and just flipped it on its head. I don't know how you do that as a game. Maybe as like just you create puzzles for the people that you're having to, murder in a horrible way to have to like fight and go through, create different ways for them to, get fucked up by these monsters.
It's like Sims, but in the Sims you have to like create like different scenarios where they come in and get murdered. That's a cool idea, actually.
Exactly.
Cabin in the Woods Sims.
Something like that. I love that movie. I was gonna say Babadook because I mean that's not a great movie, but it's I don't know how the hell you'd make a game about Babadook.
I'm gonna get ahead of this before it happens. My wife is going to be upset that I accepted Cabin in the Woods as a horror movie because I told her the other day that it's not.
Oh, you legitimately had an argument about this just like last week.
So, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
What did you say? Was it a thriller? Same kind of thing? Or?
I don't really know how I would categorize it. I guess
because it's kind of like a creature feature almost. It's kind of like an action-y thing because
thriller comedy almost too.
Yeah, because you're never the monsters are never shown to be like you know what's happening to the people at the beginning when you're seeing them in the house. You see how it's telegraphed, so it's not scary. And then later when everything goes haywire, it's like so much thrown at you. It's not scary. It's more just like shocking and crazy. So yeah, you're probably. I would say I also don't think it's a horror movie, but it's such a genre it's a love letter to horror movies.
It's very niche in the genre. Yeah, for sure. Definitely gory as shit.
It's definitely interesting as far as the genre goes. Like it almost borders on like the spoof or parody side of things as well, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't completely go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on. This is a brand new minigame. This is called Review Bombed. In Review Bombed, I give our panelists a game title with a Metacritic score. They have to tell me whether the user score for the game is higher or lower than the critic score. Critic and user scores are based on the best scoring launch platform. We're going to play 8 rounds, and the panelists can make the same guesses, but whoever made the most correct guesses at the end wins. As always, we take game title suggestions for Review Bombed from our $1 plus supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs, where you can message us your suggestion. All right, guys, so are we ready for this? I think this is going to be pretty fun. The brand new game comparing user scores, which can be all over the fucking place, to the actual critic scores.
It's a good one.
I like it. I'm ready.
All right. First game, Fallout 76. The critic score was a 53. Is the user score higher or lower? We'll go Paul and then Josh, and then we'll reverse it each time.
Higher.
It's lower.
The user score is a 2.8. Lower, so that's Josh.
2.8 out of 100?
Bro, people fucking hated
out of 10.
That game.
The user scores are out of 10.
Right.
Out of 100.
I don't even know how you do that on an average.
All right, this next game we're going to come back to in a little bit when we get to the water cooler, but Pumpkin Jack, critic score of 80.
What the fuck is Pumpkin Jack?
I streamed it last year. It was the first game I ever streamed.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, shit. Lower?
I'm going to say higher again.
The user score, 6.8.
Yeah. Damn. Josh, 2-0.
Paul,
can I say?
You're 0 for in the episode so far.
For everything. Yeah, this is really bad.
I am the Pumpkin Jack expert after all.
Yeah.
Next game.
Bacon and pumpkins go together real well.
That's true. Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, this next game, Pumpkin Jack, is a spiritual successor to this next game, but this next game, this is the remake version. This is Medieval, however you want to pronounce it, for PS4. The critic score was a 67. What are we thinking, Paul?
I'm going to stick with higher.
I'm going to go higher, actually, on this one.
You're both right. The user score was an 8.1.
I have a number on the board here.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, the next game, Layers of Fear. The critic score was a 78.
Like a cake? What is Layers of Fear?
For sponges. Oh, it's okay. It's me. That's right. I'm going lower.
I'm going higher.
The user score was 7.2, lower.
Ah, dang.
Layers of Fear 2 is the one I played. I don't think I played the first one. 2 does a bunch of really cool things. I wouldn't call it a really good game, but it does a bunch of really cool things. What is it? It's like a corridor horror game where you're like there's some light puzzle stuff to it. But the second one, you're like on a cruise ship. It's like a psychological. You're like on an old timey cruise ship. It's like a psychological thing. Your environments change. There's some chasing
Shutter
elements.
Island's the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of this thing. Fuck this shit.
Too scary,
bro. The old like cruise ship style corridors. That's terrifying.
It's got fear right in the title, so I mean,
layers of them. It's got layers of them.
Yeah, layers of them. Yeah, this looks terrifying. Oh no,
a veritable onion of horrors, you could say.
Yeah, not playing that.
All right, next game, BioShock 2. The critic score was 88.
I'm gonna fuck. I keep saying higher, and then this time I'm gonna say lower, and then I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna say lower. BioShock 2 was not super well received by players, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go on the gamble and say higher.
User score was 8.3. Goes to Paul. Nice. Next game is Alan Wake with a critic score of 83.
Lower. I have no clue.
User score of 8.2. This goes to Josh.
Fuck off with that.
We have 2 games left. The score is
5-2. So
5-2. Yes, you're correct.
No chance on winning this, but I can make it less embarrassing if I try real hard.
You can. Sure. You can give yourself some respect here. Not a lot, but some.
Oh, thanks.
All right, the next game, Alien Isolation, a critic score of 81.
Wait. Oh no, you go first.
It's me, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say lower.
It wasn't Alien Colonial Marines. I'm gonna go higher.
User score of 8.5. I was honestly expecting the critic score to be higher, than 81, too. Because I know like Alien Isolation is a pretty beloved game. All right, and the final game, Resident Evil 4, a critic score of 96.
Oh my god, that is. Oh. Was Resident Evil 4 very well received? I mean, that's kind of a spoiler alert, but I've never played any of the Resident Evil games either. I'm gonna fuck it higher.
Yeah, I'm gonna go higher too.
User score of 9.2. It's hard to go above 96.
I know, but I just thought, why would you? It's too easy.
Resident Evil fans are like, they are plumb dedicated to that fucking series.
I know.
They are.
I know. It's embarrassing showing in the games today for me.
The highest scoring platform for Resident Evil 4 was the GameCube.
And now if you have Oculus VR, you can enjoy it on VR, but only Oculus VR. So.
Yeah, I know you and Mike discussed that in the GG replay on Friday.
Thank you, Zuckerberg.
What a bitch.
All right, let's take a quick break around the water cooler to discuss the games that we've been playing this week. We don't have to spend too much time on this week, but I did want to touch on it. I'll go first. I played Pumpkin Jack. I'm in the middle of it. I'm almost finished. It's a pretty quick platinum. I played it on PC last year. Bought it half price for PlayStation this year. It's maybe like a 6-7 hour platinum. I really enjoy the game. For a small indie game, it's really well made. The actual 3D action platforming sections are great and really well done. You start to notice a bit of jank when they go outside of that and they do change of pace sections with like racing or like horse riding, stuff like that. You can notice a little bit of jank. But other than that, like the actual platforming in the game is really enjoyable. And it's such a great Halloween time game. It's just a ton of fun. It really is like the like going back to the whole medieval thing, which by the way I also purchased, and I'll be playing that as soon as I finish Pumpkin Jack. Hopefully all weekend, being that it's Halloween. That's all I'll be celebrating. I don't
And
really.
you purchased on disc too.
I did. I have physical
Nice.
because it was half price on Amazon, wasn't on sale on the PlayStation Store. So I just bit the bullet and got physical for the first time. Physical for the first time in a while. And yeah, I'll enjoy it. I've been really wanting to play that game, and I think I'll like it. I know. I feel like audiences like Pumpkin Jack a little bit more, but like overall, or I guess I mean critics, but people really liked this medieval remake for some reason. Although I've heard mixed things, so we'll see. I know like it's going to be fun. I don't need it to be a perfect game. I just need it to be a fun Halloween action platformer. You know, that's all I really need from it. Paul, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
Yeah, well, I'll start off and say, just to get my video gaming out of the way here, I did play Humankind for about an evening this week. Mike and I talked about that briefly on the old Discord chat. He really, really, really liked it, it seemed like. I mostly liked it. I think the menu, I mean, I'm used to playing Civ 5 and stuff. Obviously, it's pretty similar to Civ. I'm used to playing Civ 5, which is, Civ 6 definitely has newer menus and things like that, but still it feels a little old school. They have to be kind of reminiscent and loyal to their fan bases. This was really cool, and that I feel like a lot of the menus and the UI and everything felt a lot more modern than Civilization does. I felt it flowed really well, so I really liked that setup. That being said, though, it was a little overwhelming. It makes sense to me why Mike would like it. It's a little more micromanagey, a little more overwhelming, a little more, mental stimulation going on there
Right.
than Civ, which I think you can play more brain dead. This I played brain dead, and it's not like I died or anything, but I felt like nothing really happened unless I like kind of went out and made it happen. Whereas in Civilization, I have a lot more opportunities where people like go start a war with me or something. And this one, I felt like I kind of had to start the things, and I just didn't. I've kind of forgot about half the mechanics of the game and just focused on like making theaters. It was cool though. I look forward to trying out more of it. It's included with Game Pass, so I'm going to put some time into that, I think. But that being said, yeah, it was all right. Little again, like I said, a little more complicated than Civ. Again, I had to like place all my tiles down instead of just like saying I want to build a farm. I had to like choose where the farm was. There was a few more like it was just a little more like I don't want to say RTS like, but definitely a little more interaction with some stuff, a little more interaction with how I controlled my units. There was just more going on, but not too much. So we'll see. I'll get there. That being said, I also had a board game night this weekend. I played with some friends. Rachel and I went to a friend's house. I would call a board game master. This dude has he owns I don't know 40 or 50 board games on shelves at his place, and he used to have more, but he's sold them because he's moving to a smaller apartment. He's constantly buying and selling. He's an obsessive, I would say. But it's awesome. So we always go and have new stuff to play. And we played a game called Broom Service, which was actually pretty fun. It's you're witches and you go around selling potions and stuff to all these little castles, and you have to go and you have it's card based, and you have to pick a certain amount of cards. And anyway, it was a lot of fun. I won, which was cool.
Nice.
So that was good. And then we played a spooky game. We turned all the lights off, got the candles going, almost burned the place down. And he had this candle that it was a skull, and at one point the eyes, it was orange, and they started bleeding wax out the eyes, which was pretty cool. Really metal, but also it was on the table, and
also dangerous.
It was shooting out everywhere. Yeah, so not ideal. But we were quick to that, so no fire department had to be called. But yeah, Mysterium, pardon me, was really, really cool. As I say, as I turned 14, was really, really cool. And I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's basically someone gets to be the ghost in this haunted mansion thing, and then everyone else is a paranormal investigator that's there to help solve the crime. And so the ghost can't talk. They have to give out cards to kind of give you clues of how they might have died, and it has to match. You have to try to guess from those. The ghost just gets certain cards, right? So they can't really it's kind of interesting because like there's certain characters and pick things on your side of the board that you have to pick, but the ghost just has whatever random ones they drew to kind of help lead you that direction. So like they're trying to lead you, but with only what they have in their hands.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty cool. So that was a fun game. We also won that, which was good. It's a collaborative thing, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it was fun to do some board gaming again. It'd be fun to do some online board gaming and stuff too. Now I kind of got the motor running on that, so maybe I'll do that at some point soon. So yeah, Matt, I was gonna say, what did you play this week? But you already told us, so fuck it.
Well, you can ask Josh.
Oh my god, I was gonna say someone didn't go yet. Josh, what did you play this week?
It's been speaking of, you said you wanted to start playing tabletop games.
Yeah.
Tabletop simulator. Oh, actually, yeah, Uno too. My favorite card game.
It's I really want to use it. It's such a cool it's such a cool thing. Like there's that crazy little iPad you bring up. You can like watch YouTube videos on the iPad on the table. It's so funny.
I've been tempted to grab it up just because it seems like you can literally play just whatever you want on it. Like I don't have to play bullshit like Gin Rummy on it or something, but I can, play solitaire on it because I'm an absolute numpty when it comes to card games. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a slow game, 2 weeks for me. I really haven't jumped to a lot. I've played a little bit of WoW Classic again, just because I needed some kind of MMO dopamine rush.
Nice.
And then a little bit of New World here and there. It's still fun, but it's it's very casual for me at this point. It's like hop on, craft a little bit, get maybe a level at most, and then pop off and let that be that. It suits that need a little bit better for me than anything else really does. I jumped back into Mass Effect Legendary Edition as well. I'm finally going to run through and beat Mass Effect 1 just to get up to Mass Effect 2. Getting through Mass Effect 1 is a chore. I mean, great game. It's just aged like milk.
Yeah. Are you playing the Legendary Edition? Or?
Yeah, I'm playing the Legendary Edition. Yeah. And I mean, it looks a little better. Don't get me wrong. Like it actually looks like it probably came out like in 2013 as opposed to when it did. Yeah. So, it's got that going for it at least. But the mechanics are so janky. Like if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, there's no difficulty basically because you could just run around with a sniper and just spam it, and there's no recoil, hardly at all. There's hardly any reload. It's pretty easy, but it's fun. And it gets you to Mass Effect 2, and it tells a pretty fun, compelling story. A little bit of Fallout 4 here and there. That's kind of my comfort open world RPG game that I hop on, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go explore a bunch of ruins and just relax. So that's really been it for me. It seems like baseball and getting the old gym schedule under wraps has kind of taken my attention the past 2 weeks. But what I have played has been nice and chill, and that's really what I've needed. So it's been all right week of gaming.
All right, very nice, very nice. Not a lot of scary games amongst all of us, but
among us.
There you go.
Oh, and I will say, Matt, by the way, mentioning Pumpkin Jack, I forgot to mention this. I suggested, because we were listening to some Halloween music when we were playing our games, but I suggested we should listen to the Pumpkin Jack soundtrack.
It's great.
Because it's such a good, kind of like not Disney, but like a classic Halloween, kind of fun, but kind of spooky soundtrack. I think it's the perfect vibe. And it's hard to find good instrumental, cohesive Halloween music just to kind of play in the background of stuff. It's really, really hard. And I find that because without finding lyrics or Thriller over and over again or the Monster Mash. And so I really, really loved the Pumpkin Jack soundtrack. I kept going to that, and it was really, really awesome. We listened to that for hours when we played our games. So
yeah, when you brought that up, I was actually going to make the point. It is really hard to find good Halloween music that puts you in a good Halloween type mood. And the Pumpkin Jack soundtrack is what I've stuck to since I played it last year because it works so well.
It's really, really good.
All right, let's move on to Over Under. In Over Under, I gave our panelists a game title with a fake Metacritic score or a fake number of copies sold, and they have to tell me whether the actual true number is over or under the number that I gave them. Review scores are, as always, taken from Metacritic and based on the best scoring launch platform. We'll play 8 rounds. The panelists can make the same guesses as always, but whoever made the most correct guesses at the end wins. And again, we take game title and fake number suggestions for Over Under from our $1 supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs. All right.
Sizzling value over there.
Sizzling value.
Sizzling value.
If Mike was here, 4 people could have said it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Repetitive group here tonight.
All right. First round. Until Dawn, a fake score of 77.
You fuck. 77.
I'm just gonna go under. Why not?
I'm gonna go over.
The real score, 79.
Uh-oh. Getting a leg up for once, Paul. There you go.
Next game, BioShock. Fake sales of 5.5 million.
Under. Some hard sell in the under.
I'm gonna say over.
Real sales of 4 million.
Hey, nice.
All right.
Fallout 3. Fake score of 91.
Oh, lower.
Over.
Real score of 93.
Oh, fuck.
I put my faith in my boy Todd.
I love Fallout 3, but I'm just like, I didn't think it would score that well with all the bugginess. Interesting.
That is higher than I expected when I was looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, any game with games with a Windows Live on it should have probably been crucified, so you're right.
You need like special patches just to run it on modern PCs.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Next game, Limbo. Fake sales of 1.5 million.
Over.
Under.
Real sales of 1 million.
Shit.
Tie
God.
game. Tie game.
I shared it.
Next game is Bloodborne, a fake score of 93.
Under.
Under.
You're
both right. Real score of 92.
Wow. I thought it was going to be like 86 or something.
I was thinking like high 80. Yeah.
Damn.
Next game, Resident Evil Village. Fake sales of 6 million.
Higher.
Under.
What'd you say, Paul?
I said over.
You said over, and Josh, you also said over?
I said under.
Okay. Real sales of 4.5 million.
Probably not, but like, what are the odds? Maybe it was a huge hit.
All right,
I need to go to Vegas.
Josh is up by 1. There's 2 games left. Amnesia Rebirth, a fake score of 83.
Okay, so Amnesia is just Amnesia, right? The first one? It's just Amnesia. Okay, I'm going to go under.
It's Dark Descent,
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go under then.
Yeah, I'm also saying under on that.
You're both right. Real score of 80. Yeah, Rebirth is the new one that came out last year. A Machine for Pigs is the second one.
Holy shit, Rebirth, they have a third one now?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Came out last year.
Holy shit.
And the final game, which, Paul, can you tie?
I can tie.
You can tie.
It's 4 to 5. 4 to 5 here.
The final game is Little Nightmares, fake sales of 1.5 million.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over.
Real sales of 2 million. It's a tie.
Hey, tie game. That's the best we're going for. We went, both of us lost, then one of us won, then both of us won. This is how you do it.
All right.
Now, at the end of this, Matt has to also win in the next game, and then we
that's good, yeah.
we do it perfect, yeah.
Shocking.
Then we get all 3.
I felt like it was shocking to see that Little Nightmares doubled up Limbo.
Yeah, I thought that too, but I mean,
yeah.
One's like more of a game.
Little Nightmares is certainly longer than Limbo. Limbo is a short
Limbo was
experience.
awesome though too, but it's like more of an experience, and I feel like it flew under the radar compared to like Inside.
It surprised me too, because Limbo, like, God, that's a puzzle game I liked. Like, Jesus Christ.
So that probably means it wasn't a very good puzzle game, right?
You know what? Yeah, that probably was a self-report on Limbo.
Puzzle game fans weren't excited. even some bacon could enjoy this.
Yeah, actually, eggs even
0 out of 10.
All right, let's move on to pitch meeting. In pitch meeting, our panelists and myself have to pitch a game by combining 2 or 3 existing games and telling us which features we'll take from those games to make it fun and interesting. For example, you might pitch something like Dark Souls meets Animal Crossing meets Tower Defense, where you defend your custom-built home from various villagers before fighting the final boss, a disgustingly horrifying Tom Nook. The 2 other members of the panel will vote on your pitch. If you get both of the panelists on board, your project is greenlit and you're good to go. Here are today's pitch parameters. Horror game of any kind. All right. Paul, let's have you go first with your pitch.
Sure. Well, I just want to say first, Mr. Halloween host, that I have nothing if not a pitch bitch. Okay, so I am ready to take it on. All right. I will. Here's my pitch. All right. So imagine, I can't come at you here. I'm not going to come at you with different games that this is inspired by, okay? Because you know what? The idea stands alone and it doesn't need to be inspired. Take other inspirations, if you will. Try to imagine the way the game works. But
I will, because that's the game. So I will do that. Yeah. If you want to like make the game work in your little parameters, then go ahead. Okay, sorry. The wolf thing made me like really sassy. In my little wolfy brain.
Yeah, your little,
my little
your
bacon brain.
In your little ape brain here.
It's just gonna sizzle up in here. It's not good.
Yeah, it's all sizzling up here. I am gonna eat you by the end of this. All right, let's. It'd be really funny if we could somehow do an effect where like eyes start like popping up at the bottom of Josh's screen at the end of the episode and like dragging him away. Like there's like great Simpsons bit where at the end of the Halloween, like they get turned inside out and Santa's little helper like drags Bart's intestine away. And anyway, this is way too much.
Is this your pitch? You're on the clock here.
I know I've gone insane. No, the pitch is you're a little kid. Okay, you're a little kid on Halloween. You're out trick-or-treating. It starts off, it's like a nice family thing. You go around your house, one of those things where you're going around, you're getting your costume. Life is Strange, like Captain Spirit style, Matt, maybe Life is Strange style. You're walking around, you're talking, oh, I love this. This is my drawing from class for Halloween. I'm so excited. You do all this stuff. Your parents are there, they hug you, you get ready, you go out for Halloween. And it begins, and you start going to a couple houses, and you trick-or-treat, and your parents are there. And then all of a sudden, something at one of the houses gets weird, gets a little scary. You turn around, and your parents aren't there, and the street looks totally different. It's now dark, it's now creepier, and all of a sudden, where are my parents? And what is going on? And there are monsters everywhere. So you're walking along the street. You continue trick-or-treating, right? Because you're trying to go up to houses, asking if they've seen your parents, maybe. Because you run around at first looking for them. That's not going to work. Eventually, I don't want to give the game away, but this was another good idea. I will say, like, Rachel helped inspire this idea too. So this is as most of my good pitch ideas. There was a black cat who might come and join you. Okay. So you're not totally alone. It's not terrifying to the nth degree, right? It's a black cat who kind of comes along and starts following you, and they're kind of like your little buddy as you look for your parents. You can go to different houses and like you see different things. Maybe a friend's parents invite you in, and then it's like really creepy. They're having a Halloween party. There's people like scary monsters everywhere, and to you it looks really scary. I thought of like a cool mechanic where you could like stick the cat maybe on the people, or the cat could like go and like scratch the person, and then it makes them look less scary to you. They just look like they're wearing a costume again, and it kind of diffuses some of the fear of the game. But yeah, this is where we're at. I don't want to give the whole game away, but this is the idea, the pitch.
Okay, interesting. I feel like it's like that game that we were talking on GG Replay a few days ago, where it's like there are a bunch of different kind of mechanics. And it's almost like mini games within, you have the frame story of trick-or-treating to give you like these mini games at the different houses. Which I was kind
of imagining like What Remains of Edith Finch, almost like when you go, like you're kind of everything looks different than how you actually imagine it. Like in that, everything's got this kind of layer of like fantasy over it because everything's kind of, you're seeing it through a kid's eyes.
Right. Okay.
But like, it all kind of, like you said, like it's like a frame narrative that shows all these different weird, creepy experiences for Halloween, but through a kid's eyes. And then those get kind of debunked and unearthed a bit too.
Okay. I like it. I like the creativity. I like the imagination, and a game about trick-or-treating. You got me. I can't say no. Josh, what about you? What are you thinking?
I honestly don't have I was trying to think of some like goofy answer to say, but I just like unironically like the sound of it.
I know. Like I'm really disappointed this isn't a real game. I really want to play this game now.
Like I mean, okay, I wasn't as sold as we were going through just because I don't think it's the kind of game I would like to play. Sure. But then you mentioned the black cat, and that's not even just because I happen to own a black cat, but just the idea of it. Like, you send him after something, and it's like, oh, it's a little less scary. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's like a good nostalgia trip back when you were trick-or-treating and you like looked deep into your woods and you were like, holy shit, it's really dark in there. What could possibly be in there? Like, oh no, it's just a tree, dude. Like
there might be a jump scare and something might look kind of scary, but you can always like unearth the scare after you see it. So it's scary. You're not going to like avoid those jumps, but then you can at least go, okay, like let's make this a little less scary if you want. You can like unmask your friend's cousin wearing a Scream mask.
I like the Edith Finch vibes that you're talking about here, where it's this indie walking sim, but you're doing different things and you're using different mechanics, and I like it. You get the green light from me. I approve.
Thank you very much.
I'm there. It does enough for me. I'm greenlighting this bitch.
Yeah, this is like one of those few pitches where I'm like, I want to start a studio now. I like this idea. Like people would buy the shit out of this game if it didn't suck. But unfortunately, I would be making it so it would be it wouldn't exist. So there's no game to play.
Anyone out there, you're free to take the idea.
Star Citizen,
Perfect. Well, Paul, your project is greenlit. You got your funds. Now go make your game.
Hooray.
All right, I'll go now. We'll save Josh's for last. Josh had talked his up a little bit, so we'll save his for last.
Amazing.
All right, here's my project. It's the Stanley Parable meets Back for Blood, sort of meets Phantom Abyss, which is that like Temple Run game on Steam. All right. So you're doing things that you would do in the Stanley Parable. Like you're going down crazy hallways, you're going through doors that lead to nowhere or lead to different areas that don't really make sense. You're breaking physics. But you're doing this all while you're also being chased by zombies. Mm-hmm. And so each level is going to be relatively short, but it's going to be frantic. And I also want there to be the possibility for user-created levels. Like I want there to be tools for that. You don't have a gun. But you do have gadgets and abilities to help you slow down zombies, when you're cornered or just to help you in a pinch. You might start with a specific loadout. Maybe you get these 2 things you can start with, but then you can pick up abilities along the way. Like you go into a room and you see there's this ability you can pick up. Maybe it's something like brief invisibility or a brief force field shield, or you get like this ability that gives you 3 charges of a blink teleport, or you get a tripwire that you can set that's going to last for maybe like 10, 12 zombies until it breaks or something like that. So you get these little abilities that you can use to slow down the zombies while you're trying to find your way through this labyrinth, this maze that you don't really know where it's going, but you're trying to get to the end of the level. What are we thinking? That's my pitch.
I mean, at baseline, I like it. I would say you mentioned frantic. I would say that'd be the only thing I'd maybe pull back on.
Okay.
Only because you don't have a gun, and that's like quick fire. But if you've got gadgets, think almost balloons. Think like setting shit up throughout the level as you go on, and then it goes through that way. Other than that, though, I like I'm picking up what you're putting down here. I think it's got a good skeleton around it.
All right. Oh, a good skeleton. Very festive.
Hey.
Paul, what are we thinking?
So I mean, I kind of don't hate frantic with no weapons, just because I think that causes a little bit of a stir. It's very, very frightening. I know what you're going for there. There's this sense of like loss of control, and you have to try to control the situation without, the use of just like cutting them in half and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, it's not something I would play.
Fair.
It seems a little. Well, you're saying there's the user system levels. Is this going to be, is there the chances it's going to be like procedurally generated, or are these going to be like handcrafted levels? Because I think that's the difference. Because I might play a game like this with like a story and handcrafted levels. I don't know. I also see a version of this where it's just kind of an indie game that has procedurally generated levels, and I think that would lose the magic.
See, I originally had that that it was going to be procedurally generated, but I took it out because I do want to be more like the Stanley Parable in that regard, where the actual maybe it's a short game, like it's only like 2, 3, 4 hours at most, but it is handcrafted, and it's not going to be easy because it's like making a puzzle game essentially. But I do also want to allow users to create their own levels.
All right, you win me with handcrafted levels and a short story experience that's very specifically tailored, and everything makes sense. That gadget's in the game, it's because it's really going to do something for a puzzle. It's going to be a creative way to play the game. I like that. And also, I think user-created levels are a fun way to get around making the game replayable without doing something like procedural generation, which is like boring, terrible.
And you know what? If zombies are out, we don't have to do zombies. We can change the monster. It can be something else.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be zombies, but I think scary is good. Like something creepy, something deathly. I think that's good.
All right. So we're greenlit.
I'm greenlighting, Josh.
Yeah, I'm greenlighting. Let's do it.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Josh, let's hear your pitch.
So let's just think for a moment. Five Nights at Freddy's. All right, Five Nights at Freddy's. Balloons. All right, two games.
Balloons like the tower defense?
Yeah, balloons like the tower defense.
I fucking love balloons.
Okay. All right, so you're in this office space, right? And you instead of whereas Five Nights at Freddy's, you generally just sit in your little security camera area and just watch the cameras, make sure you're good, all that good stuff. Well, in this, after the day ends or after the night ends, you go out into the office areas and you have to set up traps in between each of these little cubes almost. So you get all these set up, whether it be like a tripwire, whether it be like the office darts, who knows, whatever it may be, and it throws them at the monster. It stops the monster from getting close to you. That kind of deal. So then the night comes around, it's going to be same deal, almost Five Nights, watch the cameras, make sure everything's good. We can throw a twist on there, but we're slowly working into that. This game at the end of the day is still early in development. We're still kind of working out some of the kinks here. So what's the real pitch? Who's the monster here? So it's Adam Sabrabiabi is the main monster.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the cubes, I was like,
When Josh said earlier in Discord chat that I have an idea, but I think it might be too much, I knew exactly what your plan was.
Look, see, and it's all good though. See, so you're gonna have a few different nights, but we don't want to specify how long, because you're already overworked. So maybe you're forgetting the days and nights at this point. And we're going to call it a night at Blizzard. And it's going to be a great, wonderful time. And if you survive the 5 days, you get laid off. So what are we thinking here, boys?
Who's going to publish? Are you self-publishing, or are we going to try to get a publisher for this?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to self-publish this. I think Steam will be all right with it,
Yeah. All right.
You might want to call it like at Five Nights at Flurry or something.
I was thinking
just change the name a little bit.
Multiple evenings at Winter or something. Something like that.
I like the concept. I think Steam. There's a place on Steam for these parody games that exist, and I think a lot of them are sort of like asset flip stuff that ends up being, not an actual game. I think if we actually focus on some of the mechanics here and actually make the game fun while also making it silly, I think we could really do something here.
All right, I'm about that. Yeah, and I'm an open gentleman here. This isn't a closed, product. You're greenlighting this, so you've got some choices here.
You're an open bacon.
Exactly. Nice. I am wide open on this bacon tray, unlike turkey bacon, which is a sin. Paul, what do you think?
I love. What about veggie bacon? What about fake veggie bacon?
I
have some in my fridge. I still haven't tried it, so there you go on that. I'm a little nervous. I love other veggie meat, but I just feel like bacon.
That's extra scary.
I don't know if you can do it. I don't know if you can do it with bacon. Bacon. So by the way, I want to say congrats on your sales technique. Matt never said I'm greenlighting your project. You said you're the one greenlighting it, so you get to decide, which I thought was a funny way to twist that. You're buying this car. You're the one you should pick a car you like, Anyway, I think it sounds really cool. I'll say a couple things. So first thing, I think that the game mechanic sounds really cool. I love a tower defense. I think they've fallen out of style immensely, considering how many great casual games are out there right now. I think it's weird that there aren't more like iOS and things tower defense games that are really good. Balloons is really one of the few ones I can think of.
Oh yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies.
That's pretty much a tower defense. But I mean, that's kind of old. They haven't really done a lot of like traditional Plants vs. Zombies games in a long time. They started spinning off to Garden Warfare and other stuff too.
That's true.
But anyway, I think that it's cool, and I think it's a cool twist on it too. This idea that you can do tower defense, but you're not necessarily just looking at an aerial view of a space, but you're looking through cameras to check on how your towers are doing is kind of cool. So you have to not only prepare your towers, but also check your cameras to make sure the towers are doing their job, which is, I think, a really cool twist that makes TD even a little bit more scary and interesting. And I think that is a very cool concept. And I think it also makes something kind of boring to me, like Five Nights at Freddy's, interesting, because you're adding a bit of when you go to check there, you have something acting upon that space that can kind of do things too. I really, really like that. Now, I will say on the parody space thing with Steam, I think this game could do really, really well as a parody game, but I think ultimately it would be kind of a viral joke game. People would be like, wow, this is actually kind of fun to play. And then Epic will come along and make a mode in Fortnite that is just the game without the parody, and it will make, $1 billion. So I like the parody aspect, but I think it might keep us from truly making this the next Among Us.
And that's something we're gonna have to battle as we kind of move forward with these discussions. But look, I can tell you this much. We could probably find some workarounds with the titling and the names of the monsters, and whether it's a cube you crawl through, or maybe it's just an office space, or a used car salesman lot. We can figure these things out.
Hey,
all you got to do is hit that green light, and we'll make some magic together.
Smash that green light button. No, I never wanted you to not make it a satire. I was just saying we're gonna lose a bunch of money, but I like it. I think if any company, if there's any company that people might get around right now hating and like making a really popular $1 million satire game over, it might be Activision Blizzard. So yeah, you're definitely greenlit on MySpace.
Here's what I need to happen. All right, we need to get Asmongold to play this on stream. That's what needs to happen.
Oh, even better. Who do you think you're going to be playing as in the office? You're going to be Asmongold.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in.
Oh my God.
You're changing your plans on the fly, but I'm in.
You start out streaming on your stream while you're at work, and then all of a sudden you have to start checking your cameras because something's interrupting you. All right.
Perfect.
I'm sold.
I approve. You're greenlit. All right.
Hell yeah. You won't regret it, gentlemen.
All right, good pitches, guys. Let's move on to.
We unanimously approved every game here. Turns out when we just need one less of us here, and we're all very friendly. Mike gets here, and it's a bloodbath.
What? Mike gets here, and it's Sudoku.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard to say no to someone. It's hard to say no to a bacon slice, and it's hard to it's hard to say no to a werewolf who is going to eat me if I say no. So
that's very, very true. Also, Halloween games are just hard to say no to. They're all just a lot of fun.
This was a more creative opportunity, I feel like, than other pitch meeting segments that we've had. It's hard to say no to that, and you know what? I am just like a businessman, so taking this seriously tonight.
There you go.
All right.
Exactly.
QuickTime questions, guys. Let's get silly with this. In QuickTime questions, I ask our panelists a series of sometimes silly opinion-based questions. They have to give me the first answer that pops into their head as quickly as possible. We're going to cycle through the panelists with different questions, but sometimes I may tell the next panelist the same question, so they better be ready. If they don't give me an answer quickly enough, we just pass the question off to the next panelist automatically. There are no winners in this game, only losers. All right, we take QuickTime questions from our $1 plus supporters over on Patreon, patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs, where you can message us your suggestions. The value.
Sizzling, the sizzle.
All right, are we ready for this?
Yeah, we're ready.
As I'll ever be.
Josh, what costume would Master Chief wear to a Halloween party?
Teletubbies.
Paul, what video game character would be worst at bobbing for apples?
Pac-Man.
Josh, what kind of candy would Yoshi give to trick-or-treaters?
Candy corn.
Same question, Paul.
His eggs.
Paul, who is Phil Spencer going as for Halloween?
Master Chief.
Okay, well, that just makes a lot of sense, actually. Josh, is Sudoku actually a real game?
No.
Paul, what is Dr. Mario's favorite horror movie?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Ooh, good. Josh, I don't know. Josh, what is Mike's favorite Halloween costume, since he's not here today?
Sexy nurse.
Oh, what video game character just leaves the candy bucket at the door?
Donkey Kong.
Same question for Josh.
Bowser.
These guys just don't give a shit.
Josh, if Kratos goes trick-or-treating with his son, what does he dress up as?
Reptar.
Wow, very interesting. Paul, final question. What developer should try their hand at a true horror game?
Oh, that's a good question. Bethesda.
Okay, I could see. I could see Starfield having elements of horror at times.
But I'm saying true horror game, right? So I mean, let's look at a open world full game that's like terrifying. The whole thing. Okay. Every corner of the open world scares the shit out of you.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm trying to think now. It's hard. I feel like it's very hard to make a truly scary open world game.
Because you get desensitized.
Yeah.
Like, I think Fallout has a lot of those aspects. Like in Fallout 4, going around a lot of the cities and stuff in the ruined towns, when the feral ghouls come at you and they're fast as fuck, like, I can't play for sometimes because I get too freaked out by all the feral ghouls. I think if you, like, just dial it up and the whole thing is that, there'll be some fans.
You know, I didn't play enough of this game to get to experience it in this way, but maybe Days Gone can actually get into that a little bit with the hordes of zombies that they have.
Yep.
All right. Let's finish the show with a special shout out. Each panelist is going to give a special shout out to any video game character of their choice and provide a quick reason why this lucky character is getting this attention. I'll start off. A special shout out to the Crow in Pumpkin Jack. He's very useful, and you can use him to cheese some fights when you need to, but he doesn't get much attention in the story, so I want to give him a special shout out here. He doesn't get enough attention. Paul, your special shout out.
Yeah, special shout out to one of my favorite creepypastas, and definitely the favorite of my 8-year-old nephew, who absolutely loves this, though it is incredibly inappropriate. Sonic.exe. Got to get my Sonic shout out there today.
No.
And Sonic.exe is absolutely terrifying. So there you go.
I don't actually know of this creepypasta.
It's a creepypasta about this like version of Sonic that used to exist called Sonic.exe, and someone got like the file's called Sonic.exe because it's like an original file, executable file, right. And someone gets their hands on it because their uncle worked at some stupid crap. But there was like a rumor about it killing people. You know, like you remember that Pokemon Lavender Town thing? Pokedor. It's like that, and then it's this whole creepypasta, and then Sonic comes up and he's like, it kind of ruins it once you see the visual because the Sonic comes up and he's like blood coming from his eyes, and it's like really dramatic and like stupid. But like if you're 8 years old, it's very scary.
And it's like, why would this be the original design for Sonic?
Right. Well, it's like it's haunted by it's like a demon. Okay. Like some guy made it and it was so horrifying he like killed himself, and then his ghost is in the game, or it's so it's some nonsense, like some crazy shit. I definitely remember reading it in like 2009 and being like, this is pretty scary.
Josh, your special shout out.
I gotta give a big shout out to Ashley Williams from Mass Effect 1 for being such a goddamn racist that she's so easy to leave on Vermeer to die.
Hey, Ash Williams, like from Evil Dead?
No, from Mass Effect. That racist, actually.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that they're both named. I didn't know that. Actually? His name is Ash Williams. Yeah, didn't know that.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing gaming podcast from the Goodnight Groofs. If you really like the show, we encourage you to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs, where we currently have 3 different tiers available. And all support is greatly appreciated and will go a long way in improving everything here at the Goodnight Groofs. The $3 plus tier will get you access to this show 2 days early, and this special shout out to all of our patrons currently supporting us in the $5 plus tier, Ishmael S. and Rachel S. A round of applause, please.
Love to see it.
We also ask that you take a couple minutes to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or leave a like and comment on the YouTube video. Everything helps us. Make sure to check out goodnightgroofs.com for all of our content, where you'll find the blog, GG Replay, this podcast, game reviews, and more coming soon. Keep your eyes on November. Guys, any last thoughts?
Fry your bacon at medium heat for the perfect sear.
That's just good advice. That'll do it for us here today. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Come here, you piece of bacon. Come here. You have to talk over me as I'm doing this embarrassing thing.
Take care, everyone, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!